Hi and welcome to the second part of my Surly BC bike build. And if you recall in the first video, which I will put up here or here, we installed the headset and the ground race onto the fork post. And in today's video, we're going to focus on putting in the bottom bracket, which is a Shimano BB52 Holotech. So without further ado, let's get cracking. Right, so the first thing we need to do is to ensure that inside here is nice and clean. Because this is a new frame set, I don't need to really check that. It's already fairly clean. I have checked it. There's no dust or anything like that in there. So what we do is we start by inserting some grease. Now, to make life a little bit easier for myself here, I've put some, and probably a bit too much there, into a syringe. So I'm starting off on the right hand side as if you were sat on the bike. Again, waste not, want not. I'm just going to use what I've got remaining on the other side, which is going to need it anyway. And again, make sure you got that thread nice and coated in your grease. Let's start by fitting the right hand side first, which is your gear side. So I've greased up in there, I've put a little bit of grease on there. Now, because mine measures 73 across the width of the bracket, I need only one spacer. This does come with 3 spacers depending on the width of your bottom bracket. Depends on how many you need. So basically you insert now, if you turn backwards so you don't get cross-threaded, you should hear a little bit of a click go on there, and then you should be able to easily turn this in by hand. Now I'm hitting that red stuff Shimano put on it now, so it's a little bit tighter. Now, I don't have a torque wrench for this particular bracket. Just need a bit of so I'm just using a normal bottom bracket winch. They do say once it's hand tight, Shimano recommend, I believe it's between 35 and 40 newtons, which is quite a lot. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that amount on it. So I'm just going to be using this. Now again, depending on what your frame's made out of, you really need to secure this, because you could end up bending your frame. So I'm just going as tight as I can get it with this little baby. And I think that's it. I'm going to leave that at that. So basically I'm going to repeat the same thing with the back one. Just turning it so I can hear that engagement of the thread. That click. And then you turn it in. So I've got that hand tight, and now I'm going to do it up as tight as I can with the tool, being careful it doesn't slip off. And scratch your frame. Yeah, it's trying to get the right angle to get good pressure. Now I should have brought a socket wrench tool for this, but I didn't have a torque wrench with the right setting anyway to do what Shimano suggests. Alright, that's in as far as it'll go anyway, so that is on. Don't really need that tool anymore, unless I change another one, which I'm not planning on doing. Right, I'm just going to give that a little bit of a clean up with a bit of tissue, and then we will proceed in putting in the crank ring. Right guys, I don't know whether you can see this, but I've actually smeared some grease on the stem, which will insert through that bottom bracket. So we're going to do that now. Place it again from the right hand side as if you were sitting on the bike. Basically the gear inside. We're just going to slowly insert that through there. Now I've probably put a little bit too much grease on there because it's piling out this end. I don't really want to have loads of grease everywhere on the exterior. So let's take a little bit of that off. Please put your comments below whether you think there is a better way or whether I should be actually applying this grease on here. From what I've seen from a couple of bike mechanic experts on YouTube, they apply grease to this. Yeah, I wanna, that goes right through there. I'm going to take a bit of that more off now that I know that's where that's going to go. Right, so I think I must have a bit of OCD because even along the way I'm trying to clean stuff. So basically we're sliding this through like so. Right, so now that's inserted, what I've been told you do is you give this a little bit of a, make sure that's through there. Right then, over to the other arm. So this other arm has got this little safety little black safety, I don't know whether you can see that, like a little lug. Now that will insert in once we've pushed this on. Now Shimano, in their splines within this, have got one which is slightly wider, so I'm guessing that's so we can get that absolutely perfectly square opposite the other one. So let's see what, there you go, that slides onto there like that. Like so. Now that we've actually installed this arm, we then have to fit this lock-in ring, which is basically just plastic. So this basically screws into here. Now Shimano's spec states this should be between 0.7 and 1.5 newtons. Now I'm guessing that is just hand tight. Now this is a little tool I purchased, which came with the other tool what fitted the chainring. So I'm just doing this hand tight. I don't have a torque lower than, see, I can't do no more than that. So I don't really want to put any more pressure on that. I mean, that's hand tight. So I'm good at that. I'm happy with that. So the next thing, we then have to insert this safety pin. Now there's a tiny little pin on this, as you can see. It goes, if I can move it, it goes up and down. Now in the bottom of the shaft what went through, there was a tiny hole, and there's a tiny pin on here which that inserts into, so that should just clip down in like that, and that is flush then with the top of there. So that is in. And then the next thing we do is we torque up our bolts, which have to be between 12 and 14 newtons. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off, actually I'm going to start off by hand and do these bit by bit to equal them in. So I'm just doing them first, so I can't do them no more without no pressure. So they're both there now with no more pressure. So ensure that I'm set to, I'm going to go 13, which is bang between the two. And then I'm just doing a small turn on each one equally, maybe quarter of a turn. Must be getting fairly close there now, it's getting quite tight. There you go, that one's done. And that one's there. Just make sure again, just one for luck. I like to do my one for lucks. There you go. There we go. I'm happy with it. So that should... Well guys, that concludes fitting this chain set. Please comment below of how you would have done things differently, or what I should have done differently. I have been following Shimano's website and their specs for certain things, so I'd like to think that I've got that right. I think I might have overdone the grease on the shaft. Maybe I should have just put it on the ends. But yeah, other than that, all I can say is usual, thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. As always, be safe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.